Hey everybody, Mr. Bowman here, another 2.6 Algebraic Methods video. This time around we're looking at all the achieved questions from that 2022 exam, and we're going to start off with question number 35 from the website link. So question number 35. As always, I jot down my question before I get going. So we've got 2x minus 3 divided by x plus 4. Subtract 3 from all of that, and that's equal to 0. And simply stated, we've been asked to solve this question. So my first step is to recognize we've got lots of invisible brackets here. So all I can really do at this stage is move that 3, or that negative 3, over to the other side. So that's going to become plus 3, isn't it? So we're going to have 2x minus 3 over x plus 4. That's going to be equal to 3. I'm now going to move my denominator. All of this is divided by x plus 4, so I'm going to move that entire thing over to the other side. So it's division. It now becomes multiplication. And remember, I've got my brackets around the bottom here. So that's actually going to become 2x minus 3 is equal to 3 bracket x plus 4. Now that I'm at this stage, I need to unlock the x that's hiding away in this new bracket. So I'm going to expand over here using my rainbow method. So I've got 2x minus 3. And that's going to be equal to 3x plus 4. And from here, I can simplify. Oh, sorry, that's not plus 4, isn't it? Math error, plus 12. I'm going to simplify. I'm going to minus 2x from both sides. And that will simplify the x's. So that's going to cancel out. And then I'm going to minus 12 from both sides to move that 12 over there. So that means negative 15 will be equal to x. And that's my final answer. We are now on to question number 36. I was writing 6 down for some reason, and this question is going to be a little bit annoying, but it's simplified this. And what makes it annoying is we've got 2 quadratics on the top and the bottom of this fraction, so I'm going to need to use the grouping method for both of these. So the first step is let's factorize that numerator. So 6x squared minus x minus 12. So my first step when factorizing, I'm going to go the 6 out here times this negative 12, that's going to get me to negative 72. And I now need to figure out, well, what's going to multiply to negative 72 and add together to get to that negative 1. And hopefully you're thinking the same as me. Hopefully you're thinking negative 9 and positive 8. And now I'm going to split this negative 1x up into 2 bits, negative 9x and positive 8x. So this is called the grouping method to factorize. If you're not familiar with it and want to know more about it, let me know in the comment section and I can reply with some more resources. So you can see this part here actually adds to negative x, which is up here. So I haven't changed the equation. It looks different, but I haven't actually changed what it is. I'm now going to factorize the first group and then the second group. So factorizing the first group, that's going to become 3x, and then that's going to be 2x minus 3. And then the next bracket, they've got a 4 in common, so that's going to be plus 4. And then that's going to be, again, 2x minus 3. The reason I like the grouping method is because the bracket's the same for both of them. I know I haven't stuffed up, and I know I've got the right answer. So the bracket they have in common, 2x minus 3, is going to go over here, and the leftover bits is going to form that second bracket. So we've got 3x plus 4. So that's going to be my numerator for my fraction. I now need to repeat the same for 3x minus 5x minus 12. So let's do this over here. So we've got 3x squared minus 5x minus 12. I'm going to start by multiplying the 3 and the negative 12 together. So 3 times negative 12, that's negative 36. So I now need to think what multiplies to negative 36 but adds together to get negative 5. And hopefully you're thinking negative 9 and positive 4. And I'm going to split this negative 5x up into negative 9x and positive 4x's. So let's factorize carrying on below. So we've got 3x squared minus 9x plus 4x minus 12. I can now factorize the first pair, so that looks like it's going to be 3x, x minus 3. And the next one, they've got a 4 in common by the looks of it, so it's going to be plus 4. And that again, that's going to be, or not 3 there, but that's going to be x minus 3. And I know I've done this right because I've got the same bracket twice, which means I haven't stuffed up. So that common bracket is what I call it. That's going to be x minus 3. And my leftovers, 3x and plus 4, that's going to come together to form my second bracket. There you go. So I've now got my second bracket. So let's put them together over here as factorized. So we're going to have 2 will be x minus 3, and then we've got 3x plus 4. That's my factorized version of my numerator. I'm then going to write down the factorized version of my denominator, which is going to be 3 minus x in the first bracket, and then 3x plus 4 in my second. I like what I see here because I've got a common bracket on the top and the bottom, and they cancel each other out. So that leaves me with 2x minus 3 divided by, or all over, x minus 3. So that question there, a lot of work there for an achieved mark. We had to factorize twice and then do the cancelling. If you need more help on the grouping method that I showed you, do let me know. Okay, I'm now on to question number 37 from the website link, and we've got a quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, and it has a solution of these two here. Find the values of a, b, and c, noting it said integers, so that means they've all got to be whole numbers. So the way I start these questions is, if 1/3 is an answer, I know one of the brackets would have been x minus 1/3. And if negative 2/7 is the answer, I know that x plus 2/7 would have been the answers. So that's going to be the basis of my question. So let's jot that down. So we're going to have x minus 1/3. Again, that bracket would give me an answer of 1/3. And then we've got x plus 2/7. And that would give me an answer of negative 2/7, and that's equal to 0. The issue is, if you expand here, that times that, you're going to have a fraction, which means you haven't met the question requirements, which is an integer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply each bracket by the denominators to then basically cancel out the fraction element of each bracket. So the first bracket, I'm going to times both bits by 3. The second bracket, I'm going to times both bits by 7. So 3 times x is going to be 3x. And then we've got negative 1/3 times 3 is going to be negative 1. So same thing, when I set this to 0 and solve it, I'm still going to get an answer of 1/3, which is what the question's told us to do. I'm going to repeat the same for the second bracket. So we've got 7 times x is 7x, and then we've got 2/7 times 7, which is going to be plus 2. And that there is going to be equal to 0. So I've now got my factorized version. The issue is it's asking me for ABC, which means I've got to expand it to then get the ABC part. So we're going to go bottom times bottom. That's going to be 21x squared. And then we're going to go along there as well. So it's going to be plus 6x. Along the top, so that's going to be negative 1 times 7 is minus 7x. And then finally, we've got negative 1 times 2 is going to be negative 2. And all of that is 0. We're going to simplify. My x is sitting there in the middle. So I've got 21x squared minus x minus 2 equals to 0. So I've now got my expanded version in ax squared plus bx plus c form. And now I'm just going to pull out my ABC. So a is going to be equal to 21. B will be equal to negative 1. And then finally c will be equal to negative 2. I'm now on to question number 38. Simplify fully this particular thing here. Gosh, that's what happens when you're tired and had a big week at school. So we've got 49y equals y to the power of 36. So my step here is I first split up my surd. So I'm going to do the square root of 49 times the square root of y to the power of 36. The square root of 49 is just going to be 7. And this one here, I'm going to change its form a little bit. The square root I know is a power of 1/2. So it's going to be y to the power of 36 to the power of 1/2. And we can multiply these powers out. So my answer here is going to be 7y to the power of 18. Very final question, question number 13. Down the bottom there, I've got an equation and we've been asked to solve it. So let's jot down my equation. So 2 to the power of x is equal to 2022. So for example, I know 2022 isn't 2 to the power of anything, so I can't cancel out the bases. So here I'm looking to use my logs because I've got an unknown power, so I'm going to log both sides, find out x. So let's log both sides. So log 2 to the power of x is going to be equal to log, oh gosh, that poorly spelt log there we go, log 2022. I'm going to use my log rule, writing it down the bottom. I'm going to go log a to the power of b, remember, is b times log a. So basically that power moves to the front. I'm going to apply this rule over here. So I'm going to move that x to the front as multiplication. So that means x times log 2 will be equal to log 2022. And then finally, log 2 is just a number and it's being multiplied. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by log 2. So I'm going to go divide by log 2 to both sides. So that cancels out this lot. And we've got log divide by log 2 over here. So that means x will be equal to log 2022 divided by log 2. And this here is just a number. Plug it into your calculator. When I did that earlier today, I got 10.98 and I rounded that to 2 decimal points. So that wraps up all the achieved questions from the 2022 exam. Hopefully you found this video useful. Keep an eye out for the merit and excellence stuff, which will be out shortly.